You are watching March to March, presented by Principal Financial Group. Laramie, Wyoming, 7,200 feet up, 15 degrees outside, and a pivotal game in the Mountain West. Why? Because a week's left in the regular season, and Wyoming's trying to keep pace with Boise State and Colorado State, and Nevada's looking to help themselves for seeding in the Mountain West tournaments. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz, along with our shooting guard, UCF's Mike O'Donnell. This is fun. It's a pivotal game, obviously, especially for Wyoming. And the best part, we got star power on both sides, especially in the backcourts.
Yeah, Grant Sherfield for Nevada, Hunter Maldonado for Wyoming. Two of the best guards in the country you need to be paying attention to. All
right, starting live. So we just told you about Maldonado and Sherfield on the left. But two key guys for both are right in the middle. Desmond Cambridge and Xavier Dussel.
Desmond Cambridge didn't play versus UNLV, and they really missed his 16 points a game. And Dussel is a star in his role.
Now, when you're talking to Nevada and you're talking to Wyoming and they're telling you what they have to do to win tonight, we figured we'd put pen to paper or stylus to computer, however you want it. And our keys to the game brought to you by Daisy Cottage Cheese.
Yeah, no extra possessions if you're Nevada. Can't give offensive rebounds to Wyoming. Attack to draw fouls. For Wyoming, you have to keep Sherfield out of the paint. He's a wizard. And then you have to get easier looks for EK. He needs a better game, a bounce-back game from his performance against Colorado State just a few days ago.
That would be Graham EK, number 33 in the middle of your screen, averaging 20 and 10 for the Wyoming Cowboys. This is a low-post demon, this Cowboy team, the best in the country at that. Warren Washington is back, Nevada's finally healthy, and Desmond Cambridge is in the lineup. So away we go at the Arena Auditorium. Keenan Blackshear does a lot of things for Nevada. That one kicked loose. It stays with Steve Alford's Nevada Wolfpack. There's Coach Alford, 12 and 14, 6 and 9 in conference. Sherfield whips it across. Trey Coleman in that starting lineup, and he finds Washington, and he finds a bucket.
Washington gets that bucket because Sherfield got into the paint and sucked in the defense. Sherfield has so much gravity every time he drives.
Dussel, yes. Told you.
Kid can shoot it. Had 6 threes versus Arizona earlier in the season. Perfect role player for the Cowboys.
Sherfield, of course, a dynamite scorer. Dussel chasing him around. Corner three, Coleman. Not his strength. And a rebound for Wyoming. Maldonado is one of the more unique point guards you're going to find. 6'7", loves the paint and operates so well in it. Ball's kicked. Steve Alford, in his third year. They were picked third in the Mountain West poll. They've not been healthy at all during the Mountain West schedule, but they're all healthy now, and that's what Maldonado does. Little drop step and an easy bucket.
Genius in its simplicity. He's a bigger point guard, and he takes his time. He understands timing and pace in the post. Most point guards don't. I'm telling you right now, Rich, I wouldn't have a clue what to do down there.
Sherfield falling away. And EK sucks up the rebound. A 5-2 start for Wyoming. The Cowboys, though, have lost 2 of their last 3 games. A tight one at Colorado State. Their last one. That's a 3. That's Drake Jeffries.
That was a double ball screen for Wyoming in semi-transition. Double drag screen. And Jeffries is their three-point shooter. Nevada's defense, you better be careful when you're switching.
This is Cambridge, knifes his way in. Jeffries got a hand on it and saves it for Dussel. Maldonado hunting for a lane. Not a great three-point shooter. EK, a touch on the low blocks, and the double came immediately.
Yeah, right on the pass before the dribble. Ball side double, really interesting. Good switching by Nevada. That was good rotation.
Oden. Off the miss. Nevada wants to push if they can. Blackshear steps through in a crowd, lost the ball.
Talked about Blackshear and his ability to play within his role, within himself. When he's getting downhill, he's great. When he tries to do too much, like on that last possession, he can really hurt Nevada.
Maldonado banging, sweeping hook. EK.
Wyoming has the #1 offensive rebound scoring efficiency in the country per Synergy Sports. Because of plays like that, you're so worried about Maldonado, you leave the big fella wide open.
A 10-0 run. Sherfield misses a 3. And Wyoming can build on this 8-point lead.
This feels like a really dangerous possession for Nevada. They need a stop here. There you go. That was good defense getting into the passing lane.
Sherfield pushing. Cambridge a 3. Got it. If he heats up, Desmond Cambridge can go for 30 on any given night.
And a big sigh of relief for Nevada fans. Grant Sherfield, when you're talking about top 5 in the country in assists, semi-transition, finding his teammate. Huge sigh of relief for Nevada and Sherfield.
Double on EK, rotate from Maldonado. He's open for a 3 and takes it and missed it.
That's his one Achilles heel, his three-point shooting. He's under 30% from 3. He adds that to his game, Rich. How are you supposed to stop that guard?
Sherfield's doubled. Washington returns it to him. Coleman drives.
Offensive.
And he knocks Maldonado across the baseline. Quick start for the Cowboys of Wyoming, trying to hang on to second place in the Mountain West. Player profile, this guy is dynamite. He did miss 3 games beginning of February. Like I said, this core group hasn't been together for almost 5 weeks. Sherfield, Player of the Week in the Mountain West Conference. Now that presents a problem for Jeff Linder, the head coach for the Wyoming Cowboys. And if you're Linder, he told us we're going to try to speed him up. And that's easier said than done. But no one has done a better job in the West than Jeff Linder. He is one of the finalists for the Naismith Coach of the Year Award. He took over a program 2 years ago that had gone 17-48, and he's sitting at 22-5 and 11-3.
Wyoming was picked 8th in the preseason poll, and this isn't just a team that's going to get in the NCAA tournament. When I'm filling out the bracket, depending on matchups, I'm looking at the Cowboys as a potential Sweet 16 type team. It is exhausting to prepare for this type of offense. 11th most efficient half-court offense in the country per Synergy.
Oden finds Jeffries. EK has drawn a double already 3 times, and his shot is short. Will Baker in the ball game, the rebound for Nevada. Baker, the transfer from Texas, in the high blocks left side, has had a nice run for the last month.
And Will Baker has been good the last few games. Shooting 68% from the field the last 3 games. Went 18 of 22 in those 2 games for San Jose State. Comes up short.
They'd love to get EK in a little bit of foul trouble. He's pretty smart, though.
Oh, what a pass.
Finds Oden.
Come on, Rich.
That's sweet.
How many guys can make that play? There's maybe 5 or 6 guys in college basketball that make that kind of pass.
Maldonado 6th in the nation in assists per game. And the lead is back up to 8. Dussel has been on Sherfield. Baker picks it up off the floor, backing in. Now a right-handed hook, and that one won't go.
But he can make that. He made 2 of those baby hooks versus UNLV, and that's where you can draw fouls versus EK.
That pick and roll with EK and a quick feed. Jeffries returns. EK on Baker. Strong and good.
See, EK waited, paused a half a second to see if the double was coming, and then he spun to his right shoulder. Baker's got to know that if you're facing a lefty, he wants to spin to his right shoulder.
Cambridge into the lane and a running one-hander. Desmond Cambridge has a couple buckets.
How great of a sign is Cambridge coming back for Nevada? Last 6 games, averaging 21 a game. It takes so much pressure off Grant Sherfield.
Also an elite defender, and that can hurt things. Maldonado! And a foul.
Nevada got stuck in no man's land because Grant Sherfield doesn't want to guard Maldonado, because this is what's going to happen. Maldonado's posting up at the three-point line, and he draws a foul because Sherfield is trying to body him up the best he can. That's just a physical mismatch for Nevada that they can't get in trouble.
Sherfield picks up a foul. Maldonado out of Colorado Springs, 5th year in the program, and if he wants another year, he's got it, his COVID year. Drops in the free throw, and look at this. Wyoming is off to an 18-7 start. Daniel Foster in the game for Nevada. This is Sherfield. Driving, kicks, Foster sweeps it into the corner. Coleman long on the three. Good rebounding team is Wyoming.
I thought that was good offense by Nevada, though. Ball went inside the paint once, and then 2 driving kicks. Good defense by Foster.
Dussel. Ike keeps it alive. Baker has the rebound. 7 minutes in Laramie. Wyoming trying to hang on to second place in the Mountain West. Sherfield weaves his way in. A one-hander won't go. And Sherfield now 0 of 3 from the field. 3 of 11 is Nevada overall.
Here comes the two-man game with Maldonado and Ike, and they put a shooter in the corner with Jeffries. Pick your poison. What do you do? Oh, pretty. Oh, man.
He's almost unguardable if you guard him with one of your guards. 20-7, Wyoming, a 13-point lead already.
If you want to guard Wyoming, you better guard Hunter and Maldonado. You think your work is done. You got through the screen, but then he goes right to the post up. A little drop hezzy to get to the rim, but then the touch to finish over the bigger defender. Man, it's tough.
And one of the unique things, they're not screening for him to get a shot. They're almost screening for him to get isolation.
That's exactly right. It's the only team in the country where you're picking at the top of the key with a ball screen for your point guard, knowing that you're trying to get him in a post-up. That doesn't happen anywhere in college basketball where when you're guarding the point guard, you get over the screen or under the screen, you think you did your job. But they're just baiting you into getting him better position on that right block.
Hunter Thompson with the foul. KJ Himes gets to the line. And it's been all Wyoming right now, 20-7. Nevada looking for an answer. They're not shooting well from the field. And they missed their first free throw. 3 of 11 from the field, 1 of 4 from distance. For a Wolfpack team that normally shoots 45% and 34% from three-point. And Himes makes 1 of 2. This is really a unique offense. Jeff Linder is known for being creative and figuring things out. And he's really fit an offensive concept to the personnel that he inherited and has recruited.
Coach Linder has become known as one of the best evaluators of talent in the high school basketball circuit.
Sherfield off the miss. Nevada's getting some pretty good looks. I mean, that's a good look. Look at Foster with the rebound, ripping it loose, and he's fouled.
I love Foster's game, and that's the kind of plays that Nevada needs to make. They need more hustle plays to get back into this game, because right now it's all Wyoming, 20-8.
Big game in the Mountain West in Laramie.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Principal Financial Group. Get to know us at Principal.com. By Daisy Cottage Cheese. Discover why only Daisy will do. And by AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, and secure.
Of course, Nevada had that great run in the Mountain West under Eric Musselman, the Martin twins, Jordan Caroline. You go back to that 2015 Wyoming team. Larry Shyatt, Larry Nance Jr. Resume, Wyoming, 39 in the net. Jerry Palm says 8 seed right now, and that feels kind of about right for a team that could certainly help themselves Mike O'Donnell in the next week and into Las Vegas.
Look at that record versus Quad 1, 2 and 3. They're going to have another opportunity for a Quadrant 1 game win this upcoming Monday against San Diego State. That game's on CBS Sports. If you got 3 Quad 1 wins, you're in the top 4 of the net. You're in pretty good shape, Rich.
Washington with a sore hand. Remember, he had dislocated fingers, missed 8 games, but that looked like a sweet 16-footer with a lot of nice rotation.
This is the first game since the Colorado State game about 4 weeks ago where Sherfield, Cambridge, and Washington, the big 3, have all finally been healthy and playing together.
EK is out right now. You got Thompson, who's a 3-point threat, in for him. Also, Brendan Wenzel is in. That's Thompson. And he misses on the 3. And Nevada down 10. Obviously pretty early here. But Wyoming's been really, and the officials right now are going to confer on this. Wyoming's been really sharp. I think the ball was deflected.
And they were checking on Jeffries, too, because Jeffries took a shot in the face. It appeared to be inadvertent, just in a transition play.
You can't review this. And the officials are going to the table, but I think they're going to see what happened.
Oh, you could see that was inadvertent. That was Washington getting his hands up. And left elbow went to the face of Jeffries.
And when the officials came over, Steve Alford met them and said, hey, that ball was deflected. That should not have been a turnover.
Get another look here at the top of the screen.
Jeffries is a really interesting player. I mean, there's some unique guys. Another big guard, 6'5", 190 pounds, 11 points a game, excellent rebounder, and a really good three-point shooter. And he lit Nevada up 6 threes when they faced off in January. And against Colorado State, when the big 2, Maldonado and EK, didn't play well, Jeffries sure did. That's the end of the play, and that's what Nevada was calling for, that the ball was tipped or touched.
Yeah, out on Dussel.
So a 10-point ball game, and Wyoming with the basketball, and Jeffries looks like he's okay, and that's good news.
Well, you mentioned Jeffries. When everybody was struggling, EK and Maldonado was struggling versus Colorado State. He had 22 points, hit 6 threes, played 40 minutes in that game.
Wenzel, this is Dussel. You got a lot of versatile guys out there who can go inside and outside. Dussel.
When you think about versatility with guys like Dussel and Jeffries, there are a lot of times the picker in the ball screen for Maldonado, which makes it really hard to guard. If you're Sherfield, you don't want to switch on to Maldonado in those guard-on-guard screens.
Offensive foul. Wenzel drew it. Blackshear committed it.
And this is Wenzel bodying up in the post, and he gets that charge because he didn't flop the first time. He held his ground the first time. The referee was down there on the baseline, and that second one, Blackshear lowered his shoulder enough. That was a smart, heady play by Wenzel.
And officials are zeroing in on that second dribble.
Right. When
you're coming in and trying to get some position. Wenzel off on the 3. Wyoming has cooled a bit, but still they lead it by 12. Blackshear's in, that's a block, and that's Maldonado with the foul. And that's his first personal, 3rd team foul.
And that's what Blackshear does exceptionally well. That's his role. When he's being a star in his role, he's getting it out in transition, getting downhill. He's got great body control and finishes well.
I mean, that's the frustrating thing about Nevada's season, isn't it? Steve Alford has some really nice pieces here. Sherfield, obviously. Cambridge, obviously. But Blackshear, Washington, Baker, Coleman. The problem is they haven't all been healthy at the same time in conference. And when they have been healthy, the pieces haven't all fit together. That's an air ball from the baseline by Cambridge.
Scoring isn't the issue for Nevada. Physicality on the defensive end is the issue. That's where Colorado State really worked Wyoming hard in the previous matchup. And they're going to give Maldonado that all day. And if he's making that, the game's going to be going to be really difficult for Nevada. But Nevada defensively has lacked the physicality that we've seen from Wolfpack teams in the past.
Just the 16th three that Maldonado has knocked down. This is game number 28.
Pretty.
Yeah, he's back. Desmond Cambridge,
Yep.
The ribs are okay. It's good to see. His best game this year, 36 against Colorado State. He was 7 of 9 from distance.
He's what we call a three-level scorer. He's a big-time three-point shooter, obviously efficient in the mid-range like we saw, and he does a great job of drawing fouls around the rim when he gets downhill.
Noah Reynolds in the game for Wyoming. EK's back in. This is Reynolds, a three. Bangs it home. Wyoming has got EK and Maldonado, but they got guys who can knock down threes if they're left unguarded.
You can have good three-point shooters, but if you don't have a post player who passes out of the post, in particular passes out of the double team well, you're going to struggle. But EK does it extremely well. That's a pretty turn jumper shot for Washington.
Washington has hit all 3 of his shots. He's got 6 points. Cambridge is 3 of 4 for 7 points. But not a lot of help from the rest.
Oh my goodness, what a
Nevada.
pass.
You expected that one to go down from Reynolds. Ball knocked out of bounds, and it stays with Nevada.
So Nevada is actually doubling on ball side. This doesn't usually happen. I want you to watch the defender. He's going to go double right on EK. And when he goes in doubles, watch the slide by Wyoming over to the open area. If Nevada keeps doubling from the passer, Wyoming can carve them up by open threes by sliding to the open spot.
Cambridge off the glass with a 3. He's feeling it right now. He's already got 10 points, 4 of 5 from the field.
I don't know if you saw his facial expression, but he kind of smirks like, did I just really do that? Bank in from 3?
Maldonado over Washington.
I'm going to go ahead and repeat that. That's Maldonado, your point guard, over Washington for Nevada, 7-footer in the post. It doesn't happen very often.
Good rotation, Coleman. Cambridge says, why not? Steps through, gets hammered, no call. Ball rolls off the rim. And he got banged pretty good right in front of us.
Cambridge is calling for it. He's saying, I got hit in the left elbow. Remember, Rich, it's not a foul. It's not called.
That's a good point. I'll keep that in mind. How impressive is Wyoming so far tonight? Hunter Maldonado, a dozen already. This is March to March, presented by Principal Financial Group. Midnight Eastern tonight inside college basketball. All the highlights, all the implications, all the brackets and the projections, all of that tonight right here on CBS Sports Network. We are in the Mountain West Conference for a doubleheader. This is the first of 2. And so far, Hunter Maldonado has been splendid.
Pretty good first half for Hunter Maldonado. There's 7:23 left, and he's already got 12 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists, knocking down threes, getting into the paint in the post-up, driving and kicking for teammates. And Maldonado's closing in on being one of the great passers in the history of Wyoming, closing in on second all-time assists in Wyoming history.
One of the most impressive things about Wyoming and Jeff Linder, the landscape is filled with teams that have built themselves to the transfer portal and have had immediate success. Not Wyoming. These are guys that were recruited here. These are guys that have developed here. Some of these guys have been here for 4 years, have gone through some awful losing seasons. And here they are, knocking on the door of the NCAA tournament.
You know, I thought was really interesting talking with Hunter Maldonado after shoot-arounds. I said, hey, what'd you do during the summer? Did you go home? Who'd you work with? Did you have a trainer you work with? He goes, I went home for a week, but then I was here the whole summer. And I said, oh, what was pickup like in Laramie? He goes, well, we just played against each other and with each other literally the entire summer. And he goes, it's paying off. Our chemistry's big time. We know exactly how to run our offense. And Rich, I promise you, it's rare for an entire team to be on campus for the entire summer. Usually players might go home for 3 or 4 weeks, work with a trainer, but Wyoming knows exactly how they want to play. Just like that last possession, everybody's connected and locked in.
EK was fouled, and despite it, he's got another bucket.
That's back-to-back possessions. Coach Linder calling EK's name in the post. And this is one of the most efficient post scorers in all of college basketball.
EK misses the free throw. He was lightly recruited. EK was out of Aurora, Oberlin High School. Sure field jumper on the way, good. Nevada needs to get hot and make somewhat of a dent in this lead and then get to halftime and regroup.
Plenty of time to do that, and that comes from Sherfield and Cambridge. Those guys have the ability to get hot and get hot quick.
Off of Jeffrey's hand and out of bounds. That's just the second turnover for Wyoming. Jeffries in the backcourt. Noah Reynolds still in there for the Pokes. Baker got it up. It was altered. EK's waving his arm all the way down the floor. And he's fouled. I mean, he looked like a third base coach, waving his arm as he was running down the field. And it wasn't so much he wanted the bucket and the ball. He wanted to get everybody down because he knew he could get to the low blocks faster than anybody.
You know, back in my day, eons ago when I played college basketball, coaches used to tell bigs, used to tell centers like EK, hey, run the floor hard. The terminology's changed. It's called rim racing now. As you can take a look at his stats, are just off the charts. Second in the Mountain West in points and rebounds. But EK races down the floor. And what that does is that just doesn't give him open looks. He has so much gravity that help defense is terrified of getting rid of a dunk that you leave open threes in the corners. That's what makes him really dangerous.
He's normally a really good free throw shooter, over 70%. Knocks that one home.
Lightly recruited, like you said. I mean, what team in the country wouldn't want Graham EK on their squad? He's one of 3 players in the country averaging 20 points and 9 rebounds a game. But his voice on defense, if you watch him, he's always talking. You may actually hear him on the broadcast, him screaming out defensive coverages. His IQ defensively is so big time. It was awesome to watch him shoot around.
Entry, EK, double team there. Reynolds kicks to the corner. Oden.
Going back to that shoot-around conversation, Rich, you and I looked at each other after Wyoming got done with their shoot-around and said, I don't think they made a mistake the entire shoot-around. Whether it was their scatter report or running their offense, it was the most fluid shoot-around I have seen in years.
And I think importantly for Wyoming, it is coming off of probably their most disappointing loss of the season, that 6-point loss at Colorado State. Rivalry game. I mean, incredible rivalry between those two schools. And isn't it great, not only for this conference, but for this region, that Colorado State and Wyoming are both NCAA caliber teams at the same time. It has literally lit this whole region up in this college basketball season.
2 teams that will be in the NCAA tournament and 2 teams that can advance in the NCAA tournament. There should be at least 4 Mountain West teams in the tournament this season, barring any unforeseen circumstances happening in the Mountain West tournament.
Steve Alford's bunch right now 6-9 in the Mountain West. If they get it together, if you know all the pieces start to fit, they're a team that could knock somebody out in the quarterfinals. That is going to be an offensive foul. Washington goes down. Here are the 4 teams of which you speak, and you never know. There could be a team that's not on that list, like a Utah State, like a UNLV, like a Nevada, that runs the gauntlet and wins the tournament and gets in with an automatic.
Well, I think all 4 of those teams should be in. San Diego State, Boise State, 2 of the top defensive teams in the country. Colorado State, Wyoming, 2 of the top offensive teams in the country. But when you think about like Utah State potentially being, that's a great lob by Sherfield, Utah State potentially being a 9 seed. Who wants to face Justin Bean and Utah State in the quarterfinals as a 9 seed? That's absolutely a team that can get hot. But the hottest team in the Mountain West right now, I'm telling you, UNLV. They are so good. They're playing so good the last 3 games because Bryce Hamilton's playing like the best scorer, not just in the Mountain West, but in the country.
33-21. That Washington dunk has brought Nevada back within 12. Sherfield drives, kicks, Foster 3, missed it. Drake Jeffries has the rebound for Wyoming.
But you mentioned it earlier, Rich, that's a good look. They're getting good looks, just not falling down for the Wolfpack. Nice skip.
Ducell. Cambridge and a foul on the rebound. A Nevada foul.
When you've got Maldonado on the bench, this is a time for Nevada to make a little run. These 4 minutes, dig your heels in defensively. Sherfield and Cambridge, they need to make plays on the offensive end. This is a good time to do it with Maldonado on the bench. Wide open, Jeffries just cut. They didn't need to run a play. That's just a read by Jeffries.
Wyoming right now 54% from the field. They look crisp. They're sharing the basketball. And Nevada's got their hands full on the road. Washington. Coleman driving, lost the ball. EK spins into a double and turns it over.
Well, if Nevada's going to get back into this, you need more plays like this. Grant Sherfield getting into the paint, drawing multiple defenders, little touch for the oop. You've got the Wolfpack trying to get back into it. More plays like that ought to do it.
Halftime getting closer when we arrive. Brent Stover, Shelvin Mack, John Rothstein, and Seth Davis will step into the lights with their AT&T 5G at the half. 35-21. If you're just happening by, Wyoming's on top in a pivotal game in the Mountain West, and there's been a lot of action in college basketball and upsets. Auburn went down. Number 17, Tennessee, had a good second half. Michigan State beats number 4, Purdue. The Must Bus keeps rolling. Arkansas takes down number 6, Kentucky. And Jamie Dixon and TCU get a win. They knock off number 9, Texas Tech.
How about Eric Musselman, though? Arkansas looked dead in the water in the middle of conference play in the SEC. They did not look like an NCAA tournament game. Then getting the win against Kentucky, they had that win versus Auburn. Arkansas looks like a totally different team than we saw a month and a half ago.
Moving screen, Warren Washington with the foul. And that's going to be his second personal foul. So the bigs, Washington and Baker, both have 2 fouls.
And with Washington and Baker out, don't be surprised if they go to ISO post action for EK. Going to get him in the ball screen here. You can see the spacing. Now they're going to go into the post.
EK against Hines, the 3rd big for Nevada. Missed it. And it goes Nevada's way. 3 minutes left first half. A half dominated by Wyoming, who shot the ball well, 52% from the field. They've hit 5 threes. Nevada, on the other hand, 36% from the field. Turnovers have been an issue. 6 of them for Nevada. That's a nice finish there. Getting in and scoring is Trey Coleman, the sophomore out of Jeffersonville, Tennessee.
That's a grown man move by Trey Coleman. Catching, ripping, getting into the paint, using his body to shield the defense. Tough. I like plays like that, Rich, because I couldn't do those type of plays.
That's right. You were the perimeter guy, waiting for the kick out, waiting for the open through.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense to me to go amongst the trees. Why have two when you can have three, Rich?
It's true. Reynolds off the pick.
And this DK wide open.
Yeah, good defense by Coleman. The double coming from behind. Skip pass to the corner. Shot clock under 10. Reynolds feeds Oden down the lane. EK was held on the rebound. You can see that. Blackshear and EK were locked up. Tough to tell who was holding whom.
Yeah, Blackshear was looking for the offensive foul. They said, you know, EK's wrapping me up. That's one of the things he does so well. EK, he just never stops working. His motor does not shut off. Special talent, Graham EK.
Jeff Linder was the head coach at Northern Colorado when he saw him in a summer league around Denver. And he went to look at his profile online. You know, most high school stars have got, hey, he's a 3-star, he's a 4-star. There were no stars next to his name. And he really intrigued Linder with his wingspan, the size of his hands. He was shorter, but this was, you know, a year away from college, and he kept his eye on him, liked him, made contact with him, and when he got the job here at Wyoming, EK stuck with the coach and chose Wyoming over a few other schools.
Coach Linder talks about how EK has pro touch. He even saw that in high school. He says the ball goes in like a pro, and he just has a unique ability to finish in traffic and to finish smoothly.
Himes on the feed, knocked away by EK. 13-point lead, 2 minutes left first half. Reynolds is playing a lot of minutes here for Wyoming. Finds EK. And it stays with Wyoming.
Pretty rare when Hunter Maldonado gets this much rest in the first half against the team. So with your Coach Linder, you're taking advantage of that. How does your offense respond when one of the best playmakers in the country is on the bench?
He plays 37 minutes a game. Tops, obviously, for Wyoming, one of the top totals in the Mountain West. And this is something that Wyoming does really, really well, better than just about any team in the country, and that is shoot free throws. They get there. Jeff Linder's team, because of all the isolation of Maldonado and EK in the low blocks, they shoot and have shot coming in 149 more free throws. Actually, made 149 more free throws than their opponents. And they lead the nation in drawing fouls. 27% of their possessions end with a foul drawn.
If you're wondering if that percentage of 27% is a big percentage, it is a huge percentage. If you're going, a good team's doing it at 15, 16, 17%. They're doing it at almost 28%. That's absurd.
Sherfield drives and scores. So more of that, please. Steve Alford is hoping.
That's 4 points for Sherfield. Had a really tough going in the first half against this Wyoming defense.
Reynolds the miss, but he knew EK was offside. Great pin block there. Still alive, Jeffries.
But EK gets the loose ball rebound and immediately finds the best shooter in the Mountain West.
I love it. Foster with the rebound. Down he goes. It's a walk. That young Australian plays with a lot of intensity.
I'm a huge fan of Foster's game. Defensively, he was big time against Bryce Hamilton just a few days ago. Locked him up in the first half. But right now, it's Wyoming on offense, and EK doing just work down low.
Finishing our college basketball night with a Mountain West doubleheader. This is the first game. Wyoming on top of Nevada, 39-26. Leon Rice and Boise State will be in the Thomas and Mack coming up, taking on UNLV. Mike O'Donnell letting everybody know that he felt UNLV is the hottest team in the Mountain West right now. So that's not an easy test for Boise State.
They're the hottest team in the Mountain West because Bryce Hamilton's averaging 27 points a game in his last 8 games. He's become the best scorer in college basketball. If you know the name Bryce Hamilton, you are missing out.
Just ask Nevada. They just ran into UNLV. Wenzel, great pass. Ike, another bucket and a free throw.
There's that pro touch we're talking about from Graham Ike. He gets the pass off some really good ball movements. And this is Wenzel with a nice dime. Can you finish amongst traffic? And can you finish for an and one? That's an elite level skill for Graham Ike.
On pace for another double-double, 14 points, 7 rebounds.
And to me, Rich, that's a quiet 14 points. Does it at the free throw line, does it on the receiving end of passes, catches everything.
Cambridge missed the shot. Ike may get the double-double before halftime at this rate.
You know, Cambridge was trying to go 2 for 1 on there, but that's just a bad shot, contested, fading away.
Wyoming doesn't have all the clock, it's just a 3-second differential. Reynolds gets a
Jeffries
screen.
at the top.
Reynolds, strong drive, missed it. Cambridge, a heave. Had a little more time, but he missed it. This was a splendid half of basketball by Hunter Maldonado, Graham Ike, and Wyoming. The Cowboys showing why Jerry Palm has them as an 8 seed in the NCAA tournament. Trying to get to 23-5, trying to get to 12-3 in the Mountain West. And so far, so good for the Pokes. (42-26). Fast start for Wyoming. Coming up after the break, AT&T at the half. You're watching March to March, presented by Principal Financial Group. By Principal Financial Group. Halftime coming to a close in Laramie, and Wyoming a sizable lead over Nevada in the Mountain West. Rich Waltz along with Mike O'Donnell. Great start for Wyoming. They came out 10-2 lead in the blink of an eye, and Nevada really struggled from that point on.
It felt like Nevada's offense, when they weren't clicking, it affected their defense. They weren't locked in. They didn't dig their heels in and get multiple stops because they weren't making shots.
Worth a watch, Hunter Maldonado. Brought to you by Principal Financial Group.
Oh, his stat line, 12 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. He didn't play the last 6 minutes of the first half. He was super efficient in those 14 minutes, and he doesn't just drop dimes, he drops quarters. And watch out, if he's knocking threes down, Hunter Maldonado becomes one of the most impossible point guards to stop in the country.
Any other numbers jump off the page for you? I know Cambridge shot it pretty well to start things for Nevada. Anything else of concern?
Well, you pay attention to the points in the paint. 16 points in the paint for Wyoming. Nevada usually does a great job with Sherfield and Cambridge in attacking the paint. And so when it's 16-10, that's the guy, Grant Sherfield, that needs to step his game up in the second half. Sherfield only had 4 points. Remember, he's top 5 scorer in the Mountain West. He can get hot and get hot quick.
So if you were Steve Alford, what would you adjust offensively?
Well, you and I both saw they were getting pretty good shots, but I think in the last 4 minutes of the first half, too many contested mid-range jumpers. Get to the rim, get to the free throw line, find an open three. Keep it more simple.
A turnover starts Nevada's second half. Maldonado, they'll double him as well. Pry the ball from him, gets it back. That's a held ball. And the arrow's going to stay with Wyoming.
Graham Ike should be screaming at his point guard who's posting up. Double, 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 weak side. He should be screaming that.
I think he's all talked out after shoot-around today.
No question about it.
He was vocally moving the defense around.
That's what Ike has to say. He said, Washington coming from the weak side.
Dussel, Ike, Jeffries, Oden, and of course Maldonado for Wyoming. Clock is down. Oden's going. Kicks to Jeffries. Maldonado got to get it up. He beats the clock and misses the shot. Oden offside. Put back won't go. Washington And Nevada tries to get on the board for the first time in the second half. Stepping in is Cambridge. Missed the three. Whoa, Washington. And he goes down hard. And Washington is still down and just getting up as Maldonado's in the front court. Oden's open, wide open. Oden's flying with a two-hand flush. Great find, great finish. Sherfield turns it over. He bounced it on the baseline. Steve Alford frustrated.
And this is a big-time play by great Oden's Raven, ripping it baseline and finishing.
Nice.
Wyoming just has so many other great role players around Maldonado and EK. That's why when you're talking about teams that can advance, you have additional players that can step up in times that maybe those two guys are struggling.
I thought you would save that line for the San Diego State game that you're calling on Monday.
I don't save anything, Rich. I'm here with you. Right now, it's Wyoming and Nevada. How dare you?
Or should I say San Diego State?
There you go.
On Monday night. EK backing in on Washington. Spinning, driving, bobbling, scoring. In that order.
There's that pro touch, right? He bobbled the ball. He's amongst Washington, who's a 7-footer, and he still finds the right touch on the backboard. He makes the difficult, quick shots look routine. It's such a special play.
Blackshear, that's a difficult drive, and he's going to the line. Now remember, EK is 6'9", 245, and just a sophomore.
And you said it, he bobbles the basketball. Washington initially has good defense. But you also have to wonder if Washington's really worried about continuing to foul EK, because in the first half, EK went to the line anytime he wanted to.
Blackshear gets to the line. Nevada from the line, just 2 of 3. And in comes Will Baker, the sophomore, the 7-footer.
Another thing to watch for Washington, when he took that hard fall on that missed putback dunk, he grabbed his hand on the run down. Next possession, I wonder if him contesting shots against EK with his right hand may come into consideration.
Well, when he injured that hand, they thought he had broken a finger. He dislocated a couple of fingers. He missed 8 games, almost a month. Came back last game. EK, Baker cleans it. Nevada hasn't been able to get any points in transition. Every bucket they've had has been tough. Sherfield with the left hand.
Sherfield is not the fastest player in the Mountain West, but he might have the best tempo in the Mountain West. He can go from slow to fast better than anybody in the conference.
And he was the focal point in shoot-around for Wyoming. This guy as well. Cambridge, Sherfield, kicks, open. Blackshear got the 3, and maybe, just maybe, Nevada's got a little bounce in their step.
Started with Sherfield, getting a bucket in semi-transition and making the wise decision on the driving kick to Blackshear.
Blackshear, great steal by Cambridge, and then Blackshear is tripped. And all of a sudden, a little defense is leading to some offense.
Cambridge is fired up, too. After that defensive play, goes down and high-fives his bench. He is fired up with that defensive performance, trying to get some life into this Wolfpack team.
And this is a Nevada team that can spurt and suddenly roll off 8 to 10 straight points on you. They have that type of firepower with Cambridge and Sherfield and Blackshear.
But then you have to worry about Baker, who is a floor-stretching big who can hit 2 or 3 threes a game.
7-0 run here. Cambridge rises and hits.
Wow.
That's a 2. And Nevada's run cuts the lead down to 11. And there's a ton of time here in Laramie in the second half. EK backing in. he needs one of those little, you know, with modern cars, anytime you put it in reverse, there's the beep, beep, beep. You can almost hear that every time he just turns his back to the defender.
I'm just laughing at the amount of low percentage shots that are high percentage shots for him. Low percentage for everybody else, high percentage for Graham Ike.
Blackshear missed the three. Noah Reynolds into the game with the rebound for Wyoming. Reynolds, a freshman out of Peoria, Illinois. He's played well and played some big minutes in this game. Corner three, Oden. And all that momentum that it felt like Nevada had starts to slip a bit, 51-35.
But again, the sign of a great team. They went on that run, Wyoming did, with Maldonado on the bench.
No one's guarding Baker, and he backed up and was thinking he was going to hit somebody. When he didn't hit anybody, he turned around for an easy bucket.
For all of the analytical genius that Coach Linder is, and it's well-deserved, he put his arms up and he said, "What are you doing?" And sometimes that's all you can do as a coach.
Jeffrey's a miss. Sherfield has the rebound. Lost the ball. Loose. Ike. Reynolds. Oden. Oh! That would have been spectacular. Blackshear up the floor. Cambridge a three. And no, that doesn't go. Crowd got on the edge of their seat on both those. Reynolds finds Dussel. Ike. Double-double. 12th of the season. 20 and 10 already. Why not? Feed the post. Ike. How good is this? Unguardable right now. Timeout Nevada. And boy, do they need it.
Graham Ike is playing out of his mind. 22 points, 8 of 13 from the field, 11 rebounds, and he's making tough shot after tough shot. He may be Mountain West Player of the Year, that's fine. This kid's playing like an All-American.
Monday night, 9 Eastern, one of the biggest games in the Mountain West this year. Wyoming and San Diego State from here in Laramie, right here on CBS Sports Network, 9 Eastern on Monday nights. For San Diego State, terrific defensively. All the metrics point that way, whether it's fewest points allowed or adjusted defensive efficiency if you're a Ken Palm person.
San Diego State is second per Ken Palm adjusted defensive efficiency. I want you to pay attention to North Texas, though. I'm telling you right now, if you're looking at a Cinderella-type team, head coach Grant McCaslin may end up being Conference USA Coach of the Year. They just beat Louisiana Tech, one of the better teams in Conference USA, and held them to 49 points.
Baker's fouled by Ike. And we'll step aside again. 55-37 in Laramie tonight. March to March, presented by Principal Financial Group. 55-37. Wyoming looking every bit an NCAA tournament team tonight at home against the Nevada Wolfpack. And Graham Ike is leading the way.
Rich, there's 13:37 left, and Graham Ike has 22 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists. He's drawn 6 fouls already in this game. Coach Linder was right. This kid has pro touch, and Graham Ike is okay.
12 double-doubles. And you talked about whoever faces Wyoming in the NCAA tournament, it's going to be a matchup issue because they're so unique. You've got a low-post scorer with great moves and touch like Ike. You've got a point guard at 6'7", a Maldonado, who can back anybody down and score over bigs in the low blocks. And then you got a bunch of guys who are active good defenders, and can shoot the three.
In practice, in scatter report, when preparing for Wyoming, how do you get your scatter report team, which is usually the players, walk-ons, or sometimes even managers, how do you emulate Maldonado in the post? How do you emulate Graham Ike running the floor or getting ISO'd in the post? It's almost impossible to simulate that in practice. That's what makes them so difficult to prepare for. Outside of all the different actions they run, those two guys, they play a different style of play.
Blackshear with a strip, and on the break, Baker keeps his dribble, avoids the travel. Sherfield uses a screen and takes the three. Dussel with the rebound. Sherfield tonight 3 of 11 and 0 of 5 from distance.
There's the post up right away. Maldonado saw Sherfield in the post. Spin.
And dish. Foster helps side defense. Cambridge got bumped. Tip is good. Keenan Blackshear from the offside got a hand in there. And again, Nevada makes a little bit of a run, but they're still down 14.
That's what Nevada has to do. Attack the rim. Continue to attack at the rim. Get to the free throw line. They're a great free throw shooting team. Extend this game by making it slower.
Jeffries. Jeffries has 8 tonight. Baker pops out, steps through, lost the ball. Wyoming's not a team that really gets a lot of transition points. Dussel misses a 3. They have the highest percentage of possessions and points that come from the low block. Skip pass. Sherfield. Yep. Got it.
That was the kind of play from Blackshear that Coach Alford loves from his rising sophomores. Is his ability to draw defenders, make plays, got good vision, get him in the post. He's going to be really good once he accepts his role.
Maldonado spinning, sweeping hook. Baker's Foster wasn't looking. It hit him right in the back.
He's wide open in the corner. Maldonado was wide open in the corner.
Ike starts his routine, and he's fouled. Graham Ike will be at the line when we return. But it's not all about Graham Ike, is it, Michael?
Well, when you got a shooter like Drake Jeffries, watch him, little ghost screen, get to the corner, rip a 3. Why not? Everything working for the Cowboys tonight. That is pure from Jeffries.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Steve Alford, 4 different schools to the NCAA tournament: Missouri State, Iowa, New Mexico, and UCLA. They're going to have to go on some run to get there this year. Nevada, right now 6-9 in conference, and you can see the tournament record, NCAA tournament record. This, this ball game kind of encapsulates what Nevada's season has been like. They'll show flashes of, hey, this is a pretty good team, and then Wyoming has, anytime they've taken a step forward, Nevada has, Wyoming has stopped their progress. Ike misses a free throw.
It has been up and down. They had 6 straight losses prior to that 3-game winning streak when they won at Utah State by 13, which was a huge win, and then beat San Jose State twice in a row before losing to UNLV. So it has been, no question, a roller coaster season for Nevada.
Nevada does not have a win against an upper division Mountain West foe, but their last 3 games, including this one, they've got 3 of them all lined up. Because they go to Boise State on Tuesday, and then they host San Diego State in the last regular season game before the tournament. So they have opportunities to prove themselves against the best in the conference in their last 3 games. Nice entry to EK all the way to the corner, and that's Reynolds. Foster gets the loose ball. Himes with a screen. Sherfield fouled by Oden. Oden, the sophomore out of Chicago. This is, look, Wyoming, we told you that they haven't built this team through the transfer portal. It's been guys that were recruited by Jeff Linder and guys that he's inherited. Oden is a guy out of Chicago who went to the same high school as a former great shooter who played here at Wyoming, Alex Akagorski, who had long distance range. Sherfield got it, and he was bumped. They're calling a flop on Sherfield. It's not often you see that when a guy makes a shot, but let's take a look at it. Wasn't a whole lot of argument from the Nevada bench.
So here's the flop warning. Does Sherfield get hit at all?
Yeah, impossible to tell on that look.
I can't even imagine the number of flop warnings I would have received back in the way too many flop warnings.
I was going to go there, but you opened the door, so way to go.
I fully admit, always selling.
Maldonado penetrates. Oden,
no way.
That's an ambitious one-hand attempt.
I respect it.
But why not?
Yeah, might as well go for it. This is Oden trying to channel his inner Vince Carter, jumping beyond the lane. He's been aggressive tonight, though. Really enjoyed watching Oden play. Got 8 points tonight. And this is where they can be really demoralizing. We've talked about Drake Jeffries and his ability to knock down threes as being kind of that X factor outside of Maldonado and EK. But when your role players are attacking the rim and getting to the free throw line, as a defense, your mind is just exhausted. You're like, we have to work Maldonado in the post, we have to work EK. And then we got to worry about these guys in the perimeter attacking it in the free throw line. It's demoralizing when Wyoming is clicking.
Jeff Linder said exactly that this week. He said, you know what, our role players are going to take us far just as much as EK and Maldonado, because if Jeffries and Oden and the rest of them are scoring like they did in the loss to Colorado State, that's a plus.
Yeah, even though Dussel fouled out, had 11 points in 22 minutes. That's what you want from your 6'4" sophomore.
Yeah, Jeffries had 22 in that loss as well. Foster still playing hard. And Jeffries with the foul. 9 minutes left. There's still a ton of time, but every time Nevada gets a couple buckets in a row and you think they've figured it out offensively, Wyoming will run off 2 or 3 in a row, and it's back to a 16, 17-point lead. Now it's down to 13.
Daniel Foster, who came in to Nevada known as a shooter, a three-point shooter. He's only shooting 19% from 3. He's a lockdown defender, a fantastic role player off the bench for Nevada. If he starts knocking down threes, you know, that takes so much pressure, scoring pressure, off Cambridge and Sherfield. Speaking of pressure, we saw a little token pressure from Nevada.
EK the miss. Maldonado. 14 for Maldonado. 5 assists. 6 rebounds. Foster feeds the corner. Air ball on a 3 from Coleman.
This is EK getting a little ISO in the post, and I'm going to say this, and I don't want you to take it in a negative way, Rich. Wyoming is weird in all the right ways, because when your point guard is getting offensive rebound putbacks routinely, it's weird in all the right ways for Nevada and all the wrong ways for opposing teams. You're just not used to that as a point guard, of having to box out within 1 foot of the basket.
And part of that is because Jeff Linder is such a fan of European basketball.
Yes.
He watches tons of European basketball. Sherfield misses the three. And that's kind of how he's designed the offense, especially with a 6'7" point guard in Maldonado. He found a guy that he saw, Nick Calathis, the former Florida point guard, who's 6'6", and he showed Maldonado the tape, and together they've watched a ton of that, because Calathis is a brilliant passer at basically the same size as Maldonado.
Well, I think Maldonado's a little bit better offensively than Calathis is. When he's in post-up mode, almost unstoppable. We're going to talk more about that when we come back.
Wyoming with a big lead here, 63-49, 8 minutes left in this ball game, and their two stars have been just that tonight. Graham Ike, Hunter Maldonado.
And Ike's got 23 points, 12 rebounds tonight. But he's also drawn seven fouls. He's been patient. He's been calm. He's played with really good pace in the post, and they found him. And then Maldonado has had himself another really good game. 14 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. And with those 5 assists, he just moved into a tie for second place all time in Wyoming history for assists and for Nevada. No extra possessions for Wyoming. For Nevada. Wyoming has 10 second chance points tonight, and then attack to draw fouls. Only 9 free throw attempts tonight for Nevada. Not enough, Rich.
Our Daisy Cottage Cheese keys to the game. Nope. Ike has another double-double. He's got a dozen of them this year, 23 and 12 in this game. Maldonado, 14 points, the 5 assists. Brandon Ewing, the guard that he passed on the assist list. But he's still got a ways to go before he's the all-time assist guy. Sean Dent is next in line for Wyoming. Dent, 502 career assists. And Maldonado now at about 471. Sherfield's Foster, a rare 3, and he missed it. Hustle, rebound, Cambridge. His 3 won't go. Thompson knocks it out of bounds, and a foul on Wyoming.
Washington was working in the post, trying to get an offensive rebound. That was great work put in by Warren Washington, the 7-footer.
If you've got a tablet or a device sitting around and you're watching this game, C.J. Moore in The Athletic had a terrific article about a week and a half ago about the secret sauce of that man, Jeff Linder, and of Wyoming. I mean, there's so much stuff in there. Did you know he was the coach that convinced Weber State that some kid named Damian Lillard could play and would be a star?
I learned in that article from C.J. Moore, which, by the way, is fantastic. Comes from The Athletic. It speaks to the basketball savant and just the general basketball fan exceptionally well. When he was scouting Damian Lillard, he goes and he watches this small little gym and watches this kid who was really skinny. It looked like he was 12 years old. And he goes back and he says, you know what? I think Damian Lillard, this kid, we have to get him because he's probably going to be freshman of the year in our conference next year.
And he was. And, of course, he went on to a lot more than that. The other thing I learned about Linder was a ball boy for the Nuggets when he was 14, 15, 16. He got fired when he was 16 for voicing his opinion on one of the Nuggets players who he said wasn't going to last very long. Someone in the front office overheard him because he was sitting underneath the bucket. So he lost that job, but they traded that player like a week later. So he ultimately was right. And you said it. His ability to scout. I mean, Chandler Hutchinson's another guy who's in the NBA. He was with Boise State. Linder was with Leon Rice. Justinian Jessup, another guy that he spotted. And he loves that Euro basketball, man. He's picked up a lot of his offense. The uniqueness from watching that.
You can be athletic. You can have great leaping ability. You can have great shooting ability. But if you don't have a high basketball IQ, you're probably not going to be able to play for Wyoming. That's a great cross by Blackshear. It's when he's making plays like that in ISO. I'm telling you, this kid's going to be really tough. I was talking with Coach Alford before the game at shoot-around about Blackshear, and he says when he accepts his role, he doesn't need to be the star yet. He's going to be the star someday. When he accepts his role and builds on his star power, it's going to be really special for us.
EK now 23 points, 13 rebounds. Maldonado, inch by inch, backing in. Strong move. And it's going Nevada's way. I mean, guards just aren't built to defend that. So who do you guard him with?
Team, the entire team. But no, think about that. That's a great point. If you want to extend it even further, like come the NCAA tournament, if you're a point guard, if you're a 6'1" point guard, and you're used to playing point guards from 5'10" to 6'3" or 6'4", you're going to have to worry about Maldonado posting you up in full court, in transition. When you pick him up at the half court, you got to be thinking he might be posting me up in this scenario.
Blackshear off the glass.
That's right. I'd be turning around. I'd be screaming, help, help, please. Someone.
Again, this is one of those Nevada spurts where they give 2 or 3 buckets in a row. They've climbed within 12. The question is, can they sustain it? Maldonado. Cambridge up the floor. Contested shot. Foster has the rebound. Foster gets it up, and he'll go to the line.
Could you tell that Cambridge was going to shoot that shot no matter what as soon as he came down the court? Just had that look in his eyes. And the fans in the stands at the Dome of Doom do not like it because they thought initially Cambridge got an offensive foul, but I'm probably okay with that. I'm okay with that foul. How good has this crowd been? It's been a great atmosphere. It's my first time here.
Look, this is a great place. It's hard to get here, but it is a great place to call a game and watch a game. Oden with the foul, and he'll sit down. He's got 4. Foster, free throw on the way, and it's good.
Student section is called the Doom Squad. I mean, the atmosphere is awesome. It's high level. It's big time. And also the fans are basketball intelligent. They can see things, and they're calling out the referees on things that we're seeing.
And I think they're a little uneasy right now because the lead is down to 10.
This is what Nevada can do. If they can string up a couple stops, get a rebound here. And this is what I'm talking about, extra possessions. They just crush you.
EK doubled. Maldonado's 3, good. Timeout, Wyoming. Every time Nevada makes a run, Wyoming seems to have an answer. And that 3 stretches it to a 13-point lead. Hunter Maldonado with that 3 now has 20 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists.
And watch Coleman, number 14 for Nevada. He goes to double ball side from the passer's defense position, and he leaves Maldonado wide open. The reason why we're showing you that again is because that's a rare thing. Most teams don't double ball side because they're worried about giving up a 3. But the reason why Nevada was doing it is because Maldonado is not a good three-point shooter historically. He's 24% from 3, but Maldonado's been 2 for 5 for tonight. That's the difference. And when you're talking about the evolution of players in their games, if Maldonado is shooting, he doesn't have to be shooting 40%. If he's 35% from 3, you can't make that double anymore, and then you're always ISO against EK, which is exhausting.
All right, you were known for shooting it and shooting it from distance at UCF. Can a guy like Maldonado with a skills coach and a shooting coach develop a three-point shot for the next level?
Absolutely, because when you look at his form, it's rhythmic, it's clean, he's got great backspin, it's quick enough to where he doesn't have to increase his speed. You just have to lock yourself in the gym and get up thousands and thousands and thousands of three-point shots.
If he does that, he'll be playing at the highest level.
There is no doubt, because his pro skill set is off the charts. Everything he does is pro level except the three-point shot.
Foster is out of bounds. No, he wasn't. There was a foul called. He was in the corner. Ike and Maldonado combined tonight.
This is the best scoring duo in college basketball. It's not a hot take. This is two players average over 20 a game every single time they step on the floor.
5 minutes left in Laramie. Ike, Jeffries rotate.
Here comes a post.
Inch by inch, ball tapped out of bounds.
You know the Wyoming Cowboys remind me of? The 300 Spartans. Pack it in. Be really difficult to penetrate their defense, but at the same time, they've got great offensive ability. Play so well in tight positions.
Yeah, but how do they play on the road? There's Oden missing the three.
Defense is always good on the road. Wyoming's defense travels. Sometimes the perimeter shooting on the offensive end does not.
Oh, I wasn't talking about them. I was talking about the Spartans.
Well, we all know how that battle ended up.
Baker the miss, and he fouls Ike. Baker's out. Crowd is up. Alford's hot. And Wyoming looks like they're headed to 23-5 and 12-3. Putting some pressure on Boise State, who tonight is down at UNLV. We've got that game next. The Broncos and the very hot running Rebels coming up next on CBS Sports Network.
That Boise State defense is the real deal. Not just one of the best in the Mountain West. They're one of the best defensive teams in the country. And they have the tall task of trying to slow down right now the best scorer in college basketball in Bryce Hamilton of UNLV.
That's going to be a lot of Abu Kijab following him around tonight.
No question.
Kijab, very good defender. Washington's back in. Ike spins right into the double, gets it back. Continues his assault on the rim. And another offensive rebound for Wyoming.
Jeffries is everywhere. He's not just a shooter. He's so much more than just a three-point shooter. It's a lot of the dirty work, too.
10 offensive rebounds for the Cowboys. Maldonado looking inside, getting inside, and missing. Ike, another rebound. Nevada needs points, and they need them in a hurry. That's a hurry, and that's Washington with a dunk.
Washington got that dunk because Ike was late getting back in transition defense. There's time for Wyoming. You have to get a stop here. There is absolutely no question. You got to dig your heels in and get a stop.
Jeffries. That was halfway down. Opportunity for Nevada here.
Here comes the ball screen. A little drag.
Sherfield driving. Oh, the follow, and Washington couldn't finish. Sherfield wanted a foul, didn't get it. And the lead stays at 11. Foster with the foul. 2:26 left. The Cowboys on top of the Wolfpack in the Mountain West. Second half of our Mountain West doubleheader. It's a really good one, of course. Boise State, a lot on the line. UNLV's red hot. That's coming up next here on CBS Sports Network. Chick Hernandez, Avery Johnson with the call on that. Boise State, one of the 4 teams that Jerry Palm has into the NCAA tournament. You see that bottom line, the projected seed is where Palm has them as an 8th seed, just like Wyoming, San Diego State, and Colorado State in as well.
Boise's got 5 quad 1 wins. How impressive is that from a resume? And they've got one of those quad 1 wins actually came outside of Mountain West play against Washington State. He's got a 50 net ranking.
Saturday certainly for these Cowboys. Maldonado
on his head. How good is this kid, Rich? How good is Hunter Maldonado?
Well, you get to see him again on Monday night. Sherfield with San Diego State here. That's going to be one of the biggest games of the season in the Mountain West.
That's one of the best offenses in the country in Wyoming versus one of the top 5 best defenses in college basketball in San Diego State.
It'll be fascinating to see how they're going to defend Wyoming. Dussel, yes. 8 for Xavier Dussel. And the lead is wide back open. Ike, 15th rebound to go with 23 points and 3 assists. Maldonado, he's close to a, I mean, if he had another 10 minutes of clock, he would easily have a triple-double. Maldonado's 22 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Remaining schedule, and there's some tough ones. The San Diego State game is at home. That's good for them. They're unbeaten at home. The road trip to Las Vegas, and then home against Fresno State. Foster misses a 3. Maldonado has a rebound. He's 1 rebound away from a double-double.
How about that matchup versus Wyoming? Last regular season game of the season, Wyoming versus Fresno State. That's Graham Ike versus Orlando Robinson. That is going to be an absolute war in the paint between those two guys.
Maldonado, clock running down, Oden spinning, Oden shooting. And in the final seconds, Nevada, they're headed to Boise State. And a 3 from that left wing by Trey Coleman. Crowd to their feet. A great Saturday night if you're a Cowboy and if you're in Laramie. As Wyoming has dispatched Nevada, and the Cowboys keep the pressure on everybody else in that top group. They stay right behind Boise State, and coming up, Boise State on the road against UNLV. And an up-close look for us for the first time this year at Wyoming, Mike, and it's pretty darn impressive.
Incredibly impressive offensive performance for Wyoming, and the stars showed up tonight for the Cowboys. Maldonado had 22 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. Ike had 23 points, 15 rebounds tonight. He was an absolute monster in the post, and we talked about how good of an ISO team they are, but just the individual performances for those two guys were just fantastic tonight, Rich.
And you know, Brian Dutcher and his staff right now are already drawing stuff up with how to defend Ike and Maldonado. Good luck with that. That's going to be a heck of a game on Monday night here for you. And that's on CBS Sports Network. There's the Mountain West standings. And, of course, coming up, we've got UNLV hosting Boise State. Jeff Linder, man, Coach of the Year in the conference and one of the Coach of the Year candidates in the country.
And it's been really special to watch the growth of this program, and the growth of this program wouldn't happen without Coach Linder. His analytical genius and his ability to scout and recruit and get players like Graham Ike. This is a dangerous Wyoming team. I would not want to see them in the big dance.
His two stars did not have a great game their last time out against Colorado State. But Ike goes for 23 and 15, and Maldonado goes to 22 and 9. Big nights for both of those. For Mike O'Donnell and our entire crew, I'm Rich Waltz. Good night from Laramie, a presentation of CBS Sports Network, 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Coming up next, More Mountain West hope as advertised. Boise State in Vegas against UNLV.